and we start with the issues already. Welcome to the House and Hammer, built by the nation for the nation. Welcome to Raider Nation News today. Hope everybody's having a great Friday wherever you guys are at. Yes, Raider in Paradise, Carl Weathers, passed away at the age of 76 yesterday. Those coming on in, do me a favor, break them thumbs, hammer them subs, smash a bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions. We already got people coming in here. Trey B, salute. Alex, Albert Garcia, what's good? John B, Big Mo, what's good? Raider, I know I'm still trying to learn it. I'm sorry. Luigi, go Diego, go. What's good, man? Huey P, Luigi, there's no tomorrow. It's a fact. Salute to everybody in the chat. It's been a minute. It's been a good couple of days, actually. Salute to Samoan Raider for being a guest Tuesday night. We have a lot of news to talk about. For those that were paying attention yesterday, we did get a new assistant head coach in Marvin Lewis. We also got a new offensive coordinator in Kliff Kingsbury. Everything is looking bright. Everything is looking up right now. I really wish that training camp started tomorrow, but you know, we got plenty of time for that, and we have a lot of other things to take into consideration and things to be concerned about moving forward. Who's our next quarterback going to be? How are we going to get that next quarterback? Are we moving up in the draft? Are we going to trade for somebody like Justin Fields? We shall see. But let's get right into it. Let me take myself off the screen. Hold up one second, guys. Hate the dead air. I apologize for that. Again, it's been a minute, so bear with me. Let's do it this way. There we go. Marvin Lewis, our new assistant head coach for his career as a head coach in the league. He was with the Bengals from 2003 to 2018. His head coaching record is 131, 129, and 3. Over 500, plenty of experience up and down throughout the league and the college ranks as well. He was with Arizona State as a special advisor. He was a co-defensive coordinator alongside Antonio Pierce at Arizona State and finished as a special advisor for the team from 2021 to 2023. Look, this was a guy that we had been talking about for quite some time. And, oops, I don't know why Kingsbury is on the screen. We'll talk about that momentarily. But Marvin Lewis is a guy that we have been talking about for the last couple of weeks, pretty much since Antonio Pierce took over as our interim head coach. He's a guy that had a close relationship with him. Like I said before, they were co-defensive coordinators at Arizona State. So they had that relationship, and the experience that Marvin Lewis has is definitely a shoulder to lean on for Antonio Pierce. Any type of advice, any type of tips moving forward as a full-time head coach now. Marvin Lewis has been there and is going to be there moving forward. So congratulations to him. I definitely love what I see right now. I saw a funny picture posted on Twitter a little while ago. Somebody put the new Raider coaching staff, and it was the Nation of Domination with The Rock. That was spot on. I love it. I'm here for it. I'm incredibly excited for it. Let's go moving forward into Kliff Kingsbury and his quick resume. He does have other experience, but obviously we couldn't fill everything on that one little screen. So here we go, guys. So for Kliff Kingsbury, for those that don't know, he did work with Patrick Mahomes while at Texas Tech. He was Arizona Cardinals head coach from 2019 to 2022 with Kyler Murray as his quarterback there, and recently was a senior offensive analyst for USC. Now, as a head coach in the NFL, he had a record of 28, 38, and 1, well below 500. But hey, this is a guy that is definitely much better suited as an offensive coordinator over being a head coach. We've seen that time and time again with certain coaches that were solid as coordinators, but just couldn't cut it as head coaches in the league. Let's take that off the screen now. There we go. And I'm looking at the chat. You guys are already going in. I appreciate that. It's hard to keep up with you guys. Diego said, let me get some content. Trey Tucker react. Yes, he did. And he's excited for it as well. Now, I know a lot of people were kind of questioning the air raid offense, and there were some things that we had talked about with it. And over the last couple of years, there have been ways that a defense can stop it. And it starts actually with the defensive line. You're not sending as much as you would. You're definitely not blitzing as heavy as you would. Normally go with like a 3-man front, 3-man pressure, playing in zone. It's an intricate type of offense because it's not just throwing the deep ball. It's a short passing game. It's mesh routes. It's crossing routes. It's routes in the middle, routes down the seams. It's all over the place. But again, we have weapons in the backfield as well. We still have Zeus. We're hoping the JJ is back as well. I'm loving the thought I'm loving the thought. Sorry, guys. I'm loving the thought of a two-headed monster in the backfield with those guys. And like I said the other night, I played in that offense when I was in high school. I understand it. The tight end isn't utilized as much. You see a lot more of a spread offense, 2 wideouts, 2 slots. You see a lot of trips formations. The RPO can be thrown in there as well. We can run formations when we have a tight end in there. We could even put a tight end like Michael Mayer with his talents as a guy that we can put in the slot as well. Anything is possible with this offense. So we don't need people. You had a bunch of people that were like, oh, I don't want Kingsbury because this is what it's going to be. This is how it's going to be. No, pump the brakes. Let's get into OTAs. Let's get into training camp. Let's get into the preseason. Let's get to the regular season and see what this offense is capable of. But at the same time, there's still a missing piece on the offense. That missing piece is a quarterback. Aiden O'Connell is here. Aiden O'Connell is going to be here for the next 3 years. He's on his rookie contract. He's only averaging a little over $1 million a year. But realistically, and it's not an insult, I said this from the time that we drafted him, that Aiden O'Connell is a guy that's going to be a backup quarterback in this league. He did do a really good job for us through the adversity that he had to deal with, not being developed correctly at the start of the season, and finishing as a starter this year at 5-5. Not a bad job, but we know what the upward trend is in the NFL. You need a dual threat. You need a mobile style quarterback, and no, they are not the same. But we have guys in this draft that we could potentially trade up for. We will do a mock draft at some point before we finish. We're not going to be on very long. Wasted is going to be on at 5:50 Eastern, 2:50 Pacific time. Shieldmore block is up and in full effect. You have me now. You'll have Wasted in less than an hour. And then you're going to have us all come together. Myself, Wasted, Graph. Believe Stu's going to be pulling up as well. Shieldmore will be live later on this evening, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So make sure to pull up to that live as well. And of course, you better pull up to Big Brother Wasted's live. And you better pay your bar tab when you're there. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We have about 150 in here right now. If you guys haven't already, do me a favor. Break them thumbs. Hammer that sub. Smash the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions. And I know I haven't been on here in a couple of days, but I want to thank those that haven't been checking out any of the videos recently. Thank you guys for the support. We hit 8K last Sunday. Trend is only going up, just like our coaching staff and our Raiders are going to moving forward. Let's get to 10K, preferably by the start of the new league year. I'd be good with it if we got there by the draft. Salute Hammer. We made great moves with our new coaches. Raiders. Salute to Freight. Salute to Bourbon. Salute to Isaac. I'm seeing a whole bunch of other people coming in now. Franklin Skinner, Brave. My opinion, Kingsbury is the best hire in 20 years. Look, a lot of these hires that we have made within the last 2 weeks have been very good hires. Whether people want to hear that, whether people want to believe that or not, we have not had an experienced GM since God knows when. You're bringing in coaching right now. You're bringing in a coaching staff with a hell of a lot of experience in the NFL. 2 guys now that were previously head coaches in the league. I am absolutely here for it. Let's get past this draft. Let's look forward to the start of the new league year, free agency, and potential trades that we could make to make this team even better. And then we look forward to the draft. I'm not sure about that, Jimmy. I'm not sure about that. Hug D's, what's good, brother? I am not too sure about that. Best coaching staff in NFL, tons of experience. There you go. Freight Train, appreciate you. God bless Carl Weathers. Raider for life, RIP. Raider in paradise. Brave, what's good, man? Hope you're doing well. All right. So, let's talk about this whole thing. Not whole thing, but let's talk about the quarterback situation. As you guys heard me just talk about Aiden O'Connell and where I see him being moving forward. Who's to say there's not a QB competition depending on who comes here? It's possibilities, but it's no guarantees either. So we have to take that as it goes. We have to take it with a grain of salt on exactly what the next moves are going to be. But again, with the guys that we have in here right now, and a guy with experience in Tom Telesco, who's done a really good job when it's come to quarterbacks, especially in the early rounds of the draft, had his hands in on Andrew Luck, drafted Justin Herbert for the Chargers. It's tough to say if we're going to move up. It's tough to say if we stand pat at 13. There are a lot of teams in front of us that are looking to get quarterbacks. We have a team directly in front of us in our rival, the Denver Broncos, that are going to be looking for a quarterback as well after they officially release Russell Wilson. So I've messed around. I've done some different trade scenarios to see what works, what's not going to work. And ultimately, I'm kind of at this point now where I still do like the thought of Justin Fields, even if it's like a second round pick. But if we're trying to get anywhere up between 1, it's going to be ridiculously hard. We're going to have to give up a lot of draft capital and maybe a player as well. And we had the conversation the other day about Devontae Adams. I don't want to trade him. I thought about this earlier today about another potential piece that we could trade, and you guys are probably going to lose your minds when I say this, but maybe another receiver that we could use as trade capital, Jacoby Myers. Now, I'm not putting clickbait out there. I am not trying to start an uproar with that, but again, we saw the trade between the Panthers and the Bears last season, the type of capital that was involved, and a receiver in DJ Moore that was involved in as well. There's a chance that if we have to pull the trigger and make some type of move like that, that might be a guy that they could potentially trade. And I see a lot of you guys already in the chat that are saying no to Myers. Hell no. Again, this is a thought. I'm not saying I want it to happen, but you never know. You never know. Shout out to my guy, the Demon King of Raider Nation, Jason Hunter. He just gifted 5 Raider Nation News Today memberships. Appreciate you, brother. Those that want to support the channel, those keep the lights on here at Raider Nation News Today. The link is pinned to the very top. So salute to those viewers that Jason Hunter just gifted. Really appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. So it was, it's popping up now. Richard, X7608, Ray, Antoine Wade, Brave Raider. They were all just gifted memberships courtesy of the Demon King of the Nation, Jason Hunter. Appreciate you, brother. And for those that missed on, I believe I did it on Saturday. Yeah, because we didn't do the Rumble on Saturday. We are going back to doing monthly giveaways. So definitely hit that membership button. Doesn't matter what tier. You're automatically entered every month. We're going to be doing giveaways, whether it be in gift cards, it could be an NFL shop, Raider image, Nike, Amazon, or even some Raider Nation News Today merch. But we're going back to doing the giveaways because none of this is possible without each and every single one of y'all. You trade Devontae, bro. I'm sorry. Here we go. Here's the conversation. This is what I want to say. El Rockets, I don't acknowledge that's right. I'd give up Myers and Renfro to level up to get Daniels or Williams. Okay. All right. You trade Devontae, bro. I'm sorry. He's older and he may not be ready to start over. You can get major compensation. Remember, we waited too long to trade Waller. And that's the other thing. And I've talked about this over the last couple of days. If we, in fact, decide that we want to try to move up that high in this upcoming draft, we have to do it within the next month. We can't wait until draft day to make something like that happen, because I guarantee you these teams are going to get greedy and they're going to want a hell of a lot more than they would have wanted back in March. So again, we'll see what happens. Look, again, it is a thought. I'm not putting it out there saying it's going to happen. It is a thought. Calm down. Jacoby Myers is definitely out of here. Kliff wants a speeder out there anyways. Ooh, Graham Cam. Can we trade more than one player? Yeah, but James, with Renfro at best is going to be like a 6th-round pick. Maybe. Nothing better than that. Like, it's not going to be anything lower than that. I'm sorry. And guys are already flashing the badges. I love it. They're flashing the badges. I love it. Jason Hunt is a real one. That's a fact. We need a QB so anything goes. There you go. Shout out to Teen. Raiders! Trade Miller and some draft picks, and then I will acknowledge it. Why would you trade a left tackle? Why would you trade the most intricate part of our offense to protect our quarterback's blind side? No, you don't trade Colton Miller. I don't think the Bears are open to trade the pick. It's just wishful thank you. They won't trade DA. Only player that has value is Max, and that definitely isn't happening. You're right. I'm trading anybody except Crosby and Adams. Okay, see? I think we cut Renfro. It's cap relief of like $8.1 million. So that's still a possibility too if we don't have anybody that can trade him. Or, I'm sorry, if we don't have a team that's interested in trading for him. Hammer, if you make the move up early, then may we go down 1 to 2 spots and get some draft compensation back. That's a possibility too. Like I messed around with a couple of mock drafts. I don't even think I have them. I think I did them at work, and I think they're somewhere in my emails. I don't even think I could pull them up right now, but I did a couple. I think I made one move just trading for Justin Fields, and then another one I did, I believe, trading up to the 3rd spot with the Patriots. Both drafts didn't look too bad, but I just, for the life of me right now, I cannot remember. Alex, that's a good question, and I talked about this when I did a quick hit the other day. He put a tweet out the other day congratulating the Chiefs and said that he wants to play for a team that can beat the Chiefs when it matters. So that's very tough to say right now if he wants to come back. A team that I mentioned was the Cincinnati Bengals. Their right tackle is due for free agency as well. And we know that the Bengals have kind of been a thorn in the Chiefs' side over the last couple of years, excluding this year where Burrow going down with the season-ending injury. But he said he wants to play for a team that can beat the Chiefs when it matters. That when we beat them on Christmas Day, it was cool. Like, he really put that on Twitter. And he said he didn't care what the fans or players thought about that. Those are his exact words, not mine. The Bears are dumb as hell. They're not a quarterback away. They need to build the entire team, trade the pick to us. Shout out to Mark Salter. Their Munford looked pretty valuable at the left tackle spot, though. Graham Cam, I have no problem with Munford. I thought Munford was on the heels of that right tackle spot last season. And he definitely got some reps. He rotated quite often with Jermaine Illuminor at the right tackle position. I wouldn't mind having Mumford at right tackle and having Colton Miller at left tackle. Air raid means mobile quarterback, but also build the trenches both sides. Carlos, it does. And we talked about the air raid a little bit earlier. And there's ways to stop it as well. So you're going to have to get some solid... We've talked about us needing to build within that offensive line, especially when it comes to our guards. I think ultimately, if we're going to keep Parham at left guard, then obviously we're going to have to look for a new center and a right guard. Robert Hunt, who's a free agent, he was with the Miami Dolphins. He's a guy that's on my radar right now for our next right guard. They need to pull the trigger and find a way to lock him in for a 3 to 4 year deal. And I think maybe drafting a center in this upcoming draft, that would help. I know that Mitchell Renz had some good things to say about Andre James. Shout out to Raider Scout because he put up some numbers in terms of Andre James's performance this year, and it wasn't as bad as a lot of us thought, but he just size-wise, he's not the biggest guy to be playing center, and that'll kill us when you have a guy like Chris Jones just putting him on his back and shooting the A-gap. So we'll see. You're asking me Caleb or Fields? Caleb had much more of a down year this season. Last year was his Heisman Trophy year. It's tough to say. It really is tough to say. And do I want a diva here? I know he's got the relationship with Kliff Kingsbury, but do we really want to deal with somebody like that? We'll have to see. Got to be careful selling the farm for a gamble. JJ Renfro and some draft picks. I will intrigue Chicago. JJ is slated to become a free agent. He's not under contract, so you can't do that. You cannot do that. And again, Renfro is probably a 6th or 7th pick. Adams to the Jets. Use 2 ones to move up. I'm not sending Tay to the Jets. Stop. I've been shutting that down for months. Absolutely not. Shout out to Sean Johnson. We hired a new running backs coach, Deshaun Foster, and pass rush specialist Andre Carter. Why does Deshaun Foster sound like a very, very familiar name? And shout out to Willie Willis. Welcome to the vault. Thank you for becoming a new subscriber. Why does Deshaun Foster sound like a very, very familiar name? Sean, I need some intel on that, man. That dude sounds incredibly familiar. We have Mumford that can play. Exactly. I'm feeling that we're going to pull off something big. Can't say that I know what it is, though. Receivers, the last things. Yeah, and we've talked about that. The Jets need a whole offensive line. Like, I don't know how you expect to get the ball to Garrett Wilson or even Devontae Adams, which will never happen, if Aaron Rodgers is going to be on his back 9 times out of 10. It ain't happening. You guys want a receiver, go get somebody like T. Higgins or Mike Evans. But Devontae Adams is not leaving Las Vegas. DA not getting traded. Who are we throwing the ball to? In Kingsbury offense not happening. So we're all on the same page with that. We're absolutely all on the same page with that. He's still going to have problems in one-on-ones in Kingsbury offense. Yeah, we'll see about that. Think Caleb is a bust. A lot of people are saying that. I'm nervous about him. I really am. Shout out to Robert Hicks. Salute, my guy. That's okay. I knew, like, I'm listening. I'm thinking. I'm like, he was a running back in the league. Okay. So he played for the Panthers and the Texans. Okay. Not a bad pickup as to add to the coaching staff. That's not bad. Let's go running back for Carolina back in the day. Okay. Tried to tell you Kliff was checking the temperature out there in Chicago. Hammer. Yo, Cowtown. That is a fact. That is an absolute fact. You said that in the chat. You were like, he's sitting there right now trying to pick their brain and try to figure out how are we going to be able to do this and try to trade up. You did call it, my guy. You absolutely called that. Thank you, Sean. The Raiders are hiring former Panthers and 49ers running back Deshaun Foster as their running backs coach, sources say. While Vegas didn't hire UCLA's Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator, the team is nabbing. Okay. I'm good. Didn't Caleb struggle a lot against the good teams? Yes, he did. Let's get Arian. No, Space Beast. Absolutely not. That dude is another one that's just in his own head. Nope. Hammer salute. I don't think Caleb's the guy. I don't think so either. Like, a lot of people early in the season, when we were looking as bad as we were, Caleb Williams season, it's tank season. No. And I told you guys from the jump, he was not a quarterback I had on my list. Absolutely not. He coached with Kingsbury at Texas Tech. Okay. Out the box thinking business like Al Davis. If we trade up, I want to go with May. Caleb ain't it. I have a gut feeling about him. Okay. Shout out to Intel. Salute, my guy. Salute. He played for UCLA and went to high school by my house. Okay. Hammer, I heard Clint Kubiak will be the OC. So the reports were out there earlier today that he could potentially be the next offensive coordinator. Hiring cannot happen until after the conclusion of the Super Bowl. So no. Absolutely not. Not absolutely not, but until then, it's kind of a pipe dream for the Saints. But me and Graf were talking about this just as I was heading home before. Kind of hilarious that you're really gonna be an offensive coordinator with that quarterback down there. Michael Thomas isn't too thrilled about having that guy as a quarterback. So Yeah, well, I'm not even going to get into that. I'm a UCLA fan. Shout out to T Severe. I'm a UCLA fan. Deshaun Foster was a hell of a back in college, and in my opinion, a top 10 running back coach in the country. There you go. I love that you guys come in and give your stamp of approval. And I'm not being sarcastic at all. I definitely appreciate that though. You guys are familiar with them, so it's a good pickup. There we go. Wow, somebody really just said Caleb is Jamarcus 2.0. I can't with you Raider fans, and I bet you think AOC is the next Joe Montana. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hammer gets it. Foster. I'm telling you, Caleb only moves the needle out west. He gets no love in the SEC. Ooh. Shout out to RJ Green, man. I think it was RJ that was like, go live when I put the shorts out yesterday. I was like, I got you. Tomorrow I'll be live. So salute to you for pulling on up, my guy. If we do get the number one, I want Jaden Daniels. Look, I would love to have Jaden Daniels. Drake May is not a guy that I'm very familiar with. I'm not going to lie to you guys about that. I've just heard his name. I never really watched anything on him, so I can't give you guys my opinions on him. Jaden Daniels is definitely a guy I would love to have. Bo Nix is another guy that I would like to have because Bo Nix is a guy that is a dual threat. Auburn, not the best. Oregon, he was a stud. I would not mind having Bo Nix if we couldn't get Jaden Daniels. And again, still on the table, still a possibility, getting Justin Fields as well. Justin Fields is mobile. We know what he's capable of doing with his legs. I'll take any of those three guys right now. I heard Kingsbury likes to dink and dunk with this passing game. Shout out to Nomad. Again, with the air raid offense, it is a lot short passing. It's not just a deep ball. For those that thought that's exactly what it is because of what it sounds like, short passing game, mesh routes, seam routes, passes in the middle. It's not all about the deep ball. It's just heavily prioritized as passing over running. It's about a 65 to 35 run, 65 to 35 pass, 70 to 30 pass. So people are kind of like misconstrued with it. That's what it is. Again, you can throw some RPO in there. It's a lot. You'll see a lot of spread formations. You'll see trips formations and Wasted's favorite, trips bunch formations. That's the style of the air raid. But who's to say that it isn't kind of balanced, but not quite balanced in regards to involving the running game a little bit more? We'll see. There's still plenty of time to think about these things. Shout out to James Lillard on the $2 hammer. Does Mayer work in this air raid offense? Mayer could. And I said it a little bit earlier. I think you just came in. I think it could work for him because you can do these trips formations. You can do these ace gun formations and do it where you have a wide out, a slot, and then you can have a closed tight end on the right with a wide out there. You can put him in there on trips formations. You can put him as a slot every once in a while. Any of this stuff is possible as long as he has the tools and can learn the stuff quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I think he's the type of kid, he's a very smart kid, and he loves to hone his craft. I think he could develop very, very well into this offense. Shout out to Giovanni on the $5. Anyone who actually watched Caleb the last 2 years can clearly see he's the best quarterback talent in this draft. How did Mahomes do in college? Stop the hate. Shout out to Giovanni on the $5. T Severe, I'd rock with JD5 as well. Them numbers are hard to deny. Daniels or Nix. See, my opinion sees it the way I see it. And again, we're not always, and this goes for anybody in the chat, we're not always going to agree with things. And everybody wants something different. But I'm going to sit here and I'm going to listen to your guys' opinions, and we're going to have these conversations about it. So I appreciate y'all. I really do. Everyone at the Senior Bowl this week was raving about Penix, and he cleared his first wave of medicals. People saying he has the best arm talent in the draft. My concern is that he is a lefty. That's my only concern. Like, I know people have talked about the injuries, and I think that's still something in the back of my mind as well. But we would have to get a solidified right tackle to protect his blind side if we decided to go the route of Michael Penix. Mayer works in the air raid. Notre Dame ran RPOs. There you go. Caleb is more Johnny Manziel, Zach Wilson, and Jamarcus. All the talent, but none of the intangibles or maturity. Damn, that's a hot take. Wow. Justin Fields first. So I'm thrilled. I'm going to take it that you want Justin Fields over these quarterbacks in the upcoming draft. That's what I'm getting out of what you just said. Unknown, Raider in Paradise, Carl Weathers. I think AP would keep Caleb Williams under control. I think so too. You see what happens if you fuck up or you want to act like an asshole. We saw what happened to Marcus Peters, right? Y'all saw the little video on the sideline. He was acting like a child. Very next day, bye. So yeah, we know that from what I've seen, and I think a lot of what you guys have seen as well, especially when it comes to AP, and I know it was only a little sample size of 9 games. But this dude is not going to take anybody's shit. He's not going to deal with the dramatics and the diva mentalities of these guys. Either they're going to play the way he wants or you're going to be gone. That's it. Shout to Q on the $10 salute hammer. If the big 3 are gone, Caleb, Daniels, May, Peyton will not pass on his version of Breeze, Tatum, clone, Knicks. I like that. I definitely like that. So you're saying, I get what you're saying. And again, we just said this before when it comes to the draft order. Broncos are at 12. They're going to be looking for a quarterback. We're going to have to figure out something and move up. We're going to have to move up. Van City, JD5, like our lives depended on it. There you go. Action Jackson. Action Jackson, Apollo Creed, Chubbs, and Happy Gilmore. Man, you guys are going to be in for it tonight. Again, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Shieldmore will be live, and there's going to be a story for you guys to hear. Make sure to pull on up and hear that story tonight. And again, Raider in Paradise, Carl Weathers. Hard to control a guy you draft and that high and give up that much draft capital for. Peters was a guy on his last leg clinging to an opportunity in the league. Much easier to cut. That's a valid ass point too, Severe. Salute to you, my guy. Broncos are iron bone neck. Yeah. So we're going to have to figure out something. Broncos will sign Tannehill. You know, it's funny. I was reading something before that they think that Tannehill could be a fit in Denver. I was looking at something earlier this afternoon. They said that's a move that could potentially happen as well. Jaden Daniels or Caleb. Okay, I'll take any of them. Don't forget he was a badass and predator. That's a fact. Shout out to Terry. Cane Town, what's good, my guy? Just keep punching. And that's what this team is going to be doing this season. We're going to keep punching. We had a really, really solid 9 weeks. I don't care how anybody else feels about it. 3-1 against our division rivals. Couple of games that woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know, the Colts, the Vikings. Games early in the season when we had McDouchebag. And like I said, moving forward, this has to be an 11-6 or better team in order to get into the playoffs. Like 10-7 gets you a wild card, but you'll be lucky if you get that wild card. 11-6 and better is the only way you're going to be able to be a playoff contender moving forward. I said it. AFC is the toughest conference in the NFL. So we shall see. Caleb wants to be a Raider. I don't see why he needs to be under control. What behavioral issues does he have? Graham Cam, just the things that people have put out there throughout the social media. If he can tone it down, the nail thing and crying to mommy about shit, we'll see. We will see. I don't understand the keep him under control talk. Like, what has he done? Paints his nails, the maturity and head case talk is overblown, to be honest. Giovanni, I appreciate your opinion. I think that was the best way of saying it. And I'm not trying to be an asshole about that either. I appreciate your take on that. I do. Who's realistic at QB? Are you willing to give up a future first for QB that could be the next Bryce Young? Oh, God. No. I think Bryce Young was just put in a wrong situation. I really do. I really do believe he was just put in a bad situation. I really do. Hold on. This is worth to be noted. Caleb Williams previously listed the Raiders as one of his teams he'd play for earlier in the season. So whether people like it, Kingsbury will push for Caleb. Again, maybe that's why Kingsbury was interviewing with Chicago. Hey, what can we do to get the number 1 overall pick? Because realistically, I'm going to Vegas. So just give me a message and I'll pass it along to Tom and AP. Thanks. Shout out to James Lillard on the 10. The air raid uses short passes as an extension of the running game and sets up the deep ball, but mainly outside the hash marks to the slot receivers. James, exactly what I was talking about before. See, we on the same page, my guy. Appreciate you. Feel free to explain, y'all. Oh man, you got we got guys going back and forth in the chat. I don't have any popcorn, but I'm here for it. I'm just gonna look at the chat. I trust Kingsbury 100%. Whatever decision he makes, I support him. Okay. I'm loving the quotes today. Mel, let's stay true to the draft board and pick the best player available. No reaching. Joe Milton has all the tools. He's a big body quarterback, but from the numbers and his completion percentage, I think at the next level, it might be a hell of a lot lower than it was in college. And no disrespect to him. And I don't think he got, from what I looked at, it didn't look like he got that many starts either. What would be the odds we go for Bryce? Why would we go for Bryce? No. USC QBs don't usually pan out anyways. KO too much of a risk at number 1. Easy pass. Shout out to the 2-time champ in the building. I like what ESPN said concerning the Raiders trading for Justin Fields. We give a 2nd and 7th. Don't leverage our future to move up. Look, I like that idea. I think that was Paul Gutierrez who put that article out as well. I like that idea. There was another one out there that we give up. I think it was a 2nd. And then like a compensation 3rd next year, but it can go up depending on how well he performs. I like that though. And I didn't even mention that. I'm glad you did, 10. I saw that article that Paul Gutierrez put out there from ESPN, and I kind of like that idea. Again, I believe he's owed $3.2 million this year. If we in fact picked up the 5th-year option, it's going to be about $22 million. And if he continues to perform and do well, then obviously he's going to get the bag like a lot of these quarterbacks that are just getting out of their rookie deals are getting right now. I'm good for an argument or two in the chat. Every live hammer. Damn, T. You're not fucking lying. James kind of thrived under Kingsbury at Arizona. Arizona was top 10 in rush attempts in the NFL multiple seasons under Kingsbury. Bourbon spitting out fire. He's spitting out flames. Mayfield's going to be going back to Tampa. I'm convinced he goes back to Tampa. Hammer, do you think Hugh Jackson will be a QB coach? If not, who do you think, or does I guess he's saying Clint Kubiak handle that part as well? Oh, Kingsbury, I'm sorry. You put KK, like both same initials. I think Kingsbury could play a role in that. He might have a guy in mind that he can bring to Telesco and AP's attention, and if it fits, it fits. Rodman painted his nails and was a beast, so what? Oh, Lord. Yeah, but Rodman wasn't always like that either. You have to remember that. He wasn't always like that. Shout out to J Raider Nation. Thank you for becoming a new subscriber. We got a couple new ones in here today. Appreciate y'all. Those that are in here for the first time, do not let it be your last. Break them thumbs, hammer them subs, smash the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions. I mean, who is ever not at risk to trade up for, especially when you don't know the future? True. They're just hating on the man. Damn, you guys are still going on about Caleb. Mayfield will be our next. No, he won't. I do believe he's going to get re-signed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If Kingsbury is a quarterback whisperer, it would be an option. We'll see. It's really hard to keep up with you guys in the chat right now. You have no idea. We have, I think, 260 in the chat right now. I appreciate y'all. Our last QB for 9 years, pain in his eyes. I'm not scared. No one said nothing. Come on, man. Nomad, that really wasn't much of a celebration. Like, think I did the quick hit. If I remember correctly, I did the quick hit and thanked you guys. We had the live with Samoan on Tuesday night. Not much of a celebration. I think the celebration needs to happen when we hit 10K. Like 8 was incredibly important to me, and I'm glad we got there. We got there on my birthday, which was amazing. But I want to get to 10K, and then we'll have a real celebration. And I appreciate you guys. Just spread the word. Keep spreading the word, man. Patrick Mahomes switches like I'm not reading that Lake Show. I'm not reading that. I'm just gonna look at it. Shout out to Vegas Jimmy. Welcome to the vault. Thank you for becoming a new subscriber. Drinking Club is in the building. Salute, guys. Salute, my dog. Late. Milton might be a 5th, maybe. But do we go that route and get another quarterback? I don't know. But like I said, looking at his completion percentage, looking at his history, again, it doesn't look like he made a lot of starts at Tennessee. And I don't know. I don't think his completion percentage. I think his completion percentage might drop at the next level. So I don't know. I know a lot of you guys have been in the chat talking about Joe Milton, but I cannot say much on him right now. Shout out to Jorge Serra. Thank you for becoming a new subscriber. Much appreciated. Come on, this is what I do. You know that. This is what I do. This is for you guys. Come on. Don't thank me. Martin, my guy from across the pond. Salute. The nation killed our old QB for being emotional during the press conference. What we doing to a QB that cries in the mummies? Oh, see? Could be a hell of a lot worse. Could be a hell of a lot worse. Hammer, speedy receivers a necessity for the air raid. Supposedly the receivers we have are slow. Not necessarily. You don't have to be ridiculously quick, but you do need to have quick feet and be able to be able to break routes on a dime. I remember a lot of the times, at least when I ran that offense, and again, short passing game is definitely something that plays a huge role in the air raid. Like a lot of the times you got us doing like quick out routes or quick slants or 5-yard hitches. And by the time you turn around, that ball is there. Shout out to my quarterback, Randy. Love you, bro. See you soon. Yeah, it's different. But again, like I said, people have talked about it. People have tried to talk down about it. And like I said, there are ways to disrupt it, but these guys play their part. And again, if you implement the run just a little bit more than what the average percentage of pass to run is when it comes to the air raid offense, I think it'll handle itself, especially with the weapons that we have on offense. But again, the offensive line is going to play a critical role. You know what they say? If your O-line don't work, your offense don't work. That's it. Hammer, what type of O-line does the staff look at Kevin Dodson guard in free agency? He's 26 to 27, then draft a guard or two. Look, I want Robert Hunt, right guard from the Dolphins. That kid will be a perfect fit at the right guard position. Pass blocking, run blocking, incredibly solid. He's a guy that I would love to get here. And then I would look into the draft for maybe another piece at tackle or another guard, but definitely a center as well. Malachi, I just saw them talking about Malachi after today. I got to do some research on him. Giovanni and Graham Cam, they said, we tripping. Did I miss Q? I did miss Q. Q on the $10. I like Fields, Jordan Travis, AOC. Want that QB room to be the best room in our building, and they're all young. Kingsbury would love teaching those guys. I'm here for it. Who's to say, we were having this conversation, joking about this before with Kingsbury being in for the interview for the offensive coordinator position with the Bears. Who's to say that he didn't go in there and just ask them like straight up, what will it take for you to give the Raiders Justin Fields? Because I could use him for my offense because that's where I'm going. We'll see. We shall see. J Raider Nation, thank you for becoming a new subscriber. Draft Caleb Williams, Apollo Creed, no matter what, no matter what. If Caleb Williams is vocal on his destination, I think we can get a reasonable trade for him. Do you think he's gonna pull Eli Manning? For those that don't know, Eli Manning was pretty much going to the Chargers. He did not want to go to the Chargers, and he found his way to the Giants. You think they're gonna do something like that? You and Shieldmore make us feel like family. All goats, great content. Not many others answer our questions, but you guys do. Because you guys matter. None of this happens. None of this growth happens without you guys. You guys really have, you have no idea how grateful I am to have such an amazing crew. I call Raider Nation, this is my second family. And this truly has been my life after football, but none of this happens. None of this growth has happened without each and every single one of y'all. And I love to hear you guys. I love to see what you guys have to say in the chat because your opinions matter. And if you guys have questions, if you have questions related to what we're talking about, of course, I'm not going to try to miss you or disregard, especially if it's smart football conversation. If it's a debate, I'm here for it. But at the end of the day, I say it all the time. You guys are my second family. I'm not going to belittle you. I'm not going to talk down to you guys. If you say something out of pocket, then you know what it is then. Hashtag leave Caleb's nails alone. You're crazy for that one. Bo Nix or Penix if we stay at 13. Look, I don't think we should stay at 13. If we don't get Justin Fields, we have to move up. Again, the Broncos are at 12. They're going to want a quarterback, and Nix is a guy that could be on their radar. We're going to have to move up within that top 5, top 6, and then we can get a quarterback if we're trying to do that. Shout out to Martin. Salute, bro. Salute. And shout out to Raider Jimmy. Caleb could pull an Eli. He has the power and doesn't have an agent yet. There you go. It's a possibility. You don't know. All right. Trying to see, am I missing anything here? I'm not. After watching ST's breakdown of the air raid, we still need help. I said it before, Juan. The offensive line is what we're going to need. I would only trade up for Jaden Daniels if he's available at 3 and up. Use the picks for the trenches. Great take. Staying at 13 shows an unforgivable lack of ambition. Sounds about right. The Broncos cannot draft Nix or win. Yep. See? So now you guys see what I'm saying. You guys see that we're all on the same page with this. But, unfortunately, I got to wrap it up because Big Bro, Old Man Wasted, is going live. I already have it set for you guys. So when this live ends, you're being redirected directly to him. So do me a favor on your way out if you haven't already. Break them thumbs, hammer them subs, smash the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions in the house at Hammer, built by the nation for the nation. Raider Nation news today. We will be back again. All of Shieldmore, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. You guys are not going to want to miss it. Continue to stay safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. COVID is back and on the rise. Remember to wash your hands and your asses. And as always, win, lose, or tie, Raider Nation till I die. And of course, on my New York, peace, love, positivity. See you guys tonight.